We begin tonight in Halifax County, where a man was convicted for the murders of two couples who were playing cards at a home in Enfield. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gerald Owens.
And I'm Deborah Morgan. James and Janice Harris and James and Peggy Whitley were killed while they were playing cards back in August of 2017. WRAL's Keenan Willard was the only TV reporter in the courtroom when James Powell gave his plea.
In today's hearing in Halifax court, Powell took convictions for 4 murders in exchange for life in prison. But some of the victims' family members don't believe he acted alone.
We need some sort of a closure, and we got closure as long as he lives in a pine box and cannot do this to any other family.
After more than 5 years, relief for 2 families today. James Powell took a plea deal, accepting conviction for the murders of 4 people in 2017. Jim and Janice Harris and James and Peggy Whitley were playing cards at the Harris' Enfield home when they were shot and killed. In court, the Harris' granddaughter spoke to Powell, saying, "I can still see my grandparents' lifeless bodies on the floor. I carry this burden alone." Powell was sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences in prison.
We were going for the death penalty, but it's going to take more years. We've already been going through this for 5.5 years.
Prosecutors say Powell confessed after being arrested for a separate crime in 2018, telling investigators details that could only be known by someone who was at the scene that night. 3 other men were also initially arrested in the murders and held for more than 4 years without going to trial. But last year, the charges against them were dropped, leaving Powell as the lone suspect.
And so many people are like, oh, finally justice. No, we're not done with justice yet. More than one person did this.
A redacted FBI report from the investigation into the murders shows shots were fired into the home from multiple places, with investigators saying they could be looking for more than one suspect. The Halifax Sheriff's Office says currently there's no new evidence implicating other known or unknown accomplices, but if additional evidence is found, they'll investigate it. The family of Jim and Janice Harris says they're counting on it.
We've made sure that they understand, and we want the public to understand that this, just because he took this plea deal, this is not over.
Keenan Willard, WRAL News, Halifax County.